Brought to you by Express Care Health and Skin Center. Get in, get out, get better.
We are back, as the good Dr. Lom is from Express Care, and we are talking about headaches. Doctor, interesting, because I'm learning in talking to you so much about headaches that I did not know, as our viewers would probably agree. There's a lot we don't know, and the questions ask some very specific topics. So, we'll continue our investigation of headaches. Ready?
Yes.
Okay. Question number 1, my friends, comes to Kevin N. And as the gentleman in the back bring up the graphic, Kevin asks, when is a headache, doctor, more than just a headache?
It's a great question. Yeah, everybody gets headaches, but when should you go to the emergency with it? Basically, if your headache is unusual in that it's the worst headache of your life, you've never had a headache such as this, it's not going away, especially after 72 hours. If your headache still hasn't gone away, you really need to get checked. If there are other symptoms associated with it, such as numbness, tingling, weakness, it's not responding to your usual medication, or especially if you have another illness going along with it, such as fever, some sort of rash, those type of things would signal that there's a more dangerous disease going along with that headache, and you need to get it checked out.
Okay. Does it depend geographically where in the head it occurs?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Different symptoms for different people?
Different symptoms,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we talked about migraines in the first segment, and Ken writes from Totu, and he posted this question on our Facebook wall. He asks, Doctor, what causes migraines? And like I said, you gave us a little brief introduction to migraines and everything. Maybe drill down into that, and that's a terrible pun, I know.
Yeah. Well, migraines are caused, how they occur, nobody knows exactly, but what typically happens is that there's a nerve, your fifth cranial nerve. It comes out of your brain, comes out around here, and it innervates your face, and it also innervates the lining of your brain called the meninges. That nerve tends to get triggered in migraines, and then there are some changes in the blood flow to the regions of your brain, which can be measured. And the flow may be first tightened, so there's not enough blood flow to certain parts of the brain, and then vasodilation, meaning dilation of the blood vessels and excessive blood flow. So then there's like a throbbing, high pressure kind of feeling in the brain. And that's what people will describe as a throbbing migraine. So how exactly that happens or why it gets set off, nobody knows, but we do know triggers, certain foods such as MSG or aspartame you mentioned, or red wine, cheese, certain medications, especially oral contraceptive pills, and other stress, fatigue, jet lag. These are all triggers for migraine, and each person really has a different trigger.
Okay, well, see, boys and girls, Dr. Lom has proof positive why it's good to pay attention in science class. Okay, question number 3 comes to us from the lovely village of Sinahanya. This comes from Jessica T. And doctor, she asks, is it weird that I only experience headaches on the weekend? Could this be a form of cluster headaches?
It's actually more of a form of migraine.
Okay.
And it's not that unusual. It's kind of sad for people to have headaches on the weekend, but it's related more to their environment and to their lifestyle. So during the week, they may be drinking certain amounts of coffee. On the weekend, they stop. They may be getting more or less sleep on the weekend. They may be drinking more or less alcohol on the weekend.
Going out to clubs and hearing loud bands.
Exactly, yeah. So people do get weekend headaches, and the way to prevent them is to try to maintain a very regular and even lifestyle, trying to be good to your routine.
Well, can listening to loud music for prolonged periods of time give you a headache?
It can.
Okay.
Yes, it can trigger it.
Okay. Tinnitus, I believe, right?
Tinnitus is ringing in the ears.
Oh, there you go.
But it can trigger off just an actual tension headache or migraine.
Okay. So our last question is from down south. Or, beg your pardon, this is our 4th question. This comes from Aaron from Barrigada. Jumping a little bit ahead there, but Aaron asks, what is an aura?
Oh, some migraines are preceded by an aura. So the classic migraine, people feel unwell for a couple of days before they're going to get their migraine, and then about an hour before the migraine begins, they start to see some flashing lights, zigzaggy lines, blocked vision or tunnel vision, or just weird ringing, strange sounds, or inability to even speak or understand words, and then the full migraine hits, and they're going to be out for a day or two.
Oh no. Okay, and real quick, we got to take this one. This one comes from Agate. This is from Deanna, and Deanna says, is it possible to have several types of headaches?
You can. You can have all different kinds. You mentioned the sinus headaches, tension, migraine. They can all happen at different times in your life.
Okay, well, thank you so much for the information. This has definitely
You're
been one of the
welcome.
more interesting discussions we have, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Okay, well, speaking of next week, remember the deadline for the Botox treatment. We want to let you experience Botox. We'll pick one viewer. Just post on our Facebook wall at KUAM.com/Facebook, or go on to KUAM.com and let us know why you deserve a Botox treatment, and we will feature you on an upcoming episode of Healthy Living right here on KUAM News Extra. As for right now, we're going to take another commercial break, but we're back with more show right after this. Stay tuned.